Yo guys, welcome to the video. This is Josh or Milky and welcome to day 7 of the 7-day 7-farm series. In today's video, we're going to be doing something a bit more high variance, something a bit more exciting. And I know I've tried to keep these pretty mid-range and this stays true to that. Only 14 chaos per map invested and we wanted to go with something a little bit different. And it's something I've never tried before. We went with Wandering Path, Growing Hordes, Twist of Fate, Vaal Temples to make use of all those Vaal vessels that are implicit to the map. Now on a Vaal Temple, there are 10 Vaal vessels implicit, which scales with the increased effect of non-unique modifiers from the Atlas tree, which you can see at the top here. So we end up getting 16 of these vessels per map, and each one of them can drop specific loot. You can get specific div cards, you can get special essences, you can get double corrupted items, you can get double corrupted jewels, uniques. You're going to see a lot of things you've probably not seen before. And what this means is it's kind of hard to determine how good this is because results may vary. But anyway, let's get into the tree. And it's a pretty standard Wandering Path tree. I wanted to get some amount of consistent returns. And one of the most consistent things you can do in Path of Exile is farm harvest. People always need harvest. And Wandering Path actually works with harvest pretty well. You don't really care about all these notable nodes. The small nodes are good enough. You're going to have a very high chance to see harvest on your map due to the small nodes granting 10% chance to see a harvest rather than the usual 5. Then we have the strongbox nodes, which are going to make it so you've got more chance to open your strongboxes twice and also to be, guarded by a pack of mobs. And then finally, all we've got is these quant nodes, quant and rarity, duplicated maps, increased chance to drop a connected map, and as I said, the effect of non-unique modifiers to increase the number of Vaal vessels in the map. Pretty straightforward Wandering Path tree, a really difficult tree to play sometimes because the modifiers on your map can be very, very scary. And because of this mod right here, Twist of Fate, this means that all the corrupted rare maps and any Atlas missions, map crafting options, scarabs applying to them, well, they're changed unpredictably when you go into the map. This means that it doesn't matter what it says on the map before you put it in the device, you're going to get something random when you get in there. So having a build that can deal with almost all map mods is essential. If you have a build that can do pretty much anything, this is going to be better, but reflect can be dealt with. You can buy the reflect compass, which will make it so you cannot deal reflected damage to yourself. Growing Hordes does work with Twist of Fate. It consumes the scarabs and turns them into pack size, and Twist of Fate does nothing with them. So a really nice combination. That's the tree. It'll be linked below as usual. Let's get into the game itself and see just how well we did. So I would love to take you on a map walkthrough. However, my character has been picked apart and I am selling stuff. So we're going to look at the tab. First of all, these essences. These aren't from killing essence monsters. These can drop from some of the Vaal vessels. The Vaal vessels summon a boss from a Vaal side area. And some of these can drop these essences. So you get a lot of horrors, insanities, hysterias, deliriums. Get a lot of these. The second thing you can get is the price of protection. 5 of these gives you an Elder Guardian map, which roughly 15C, which makes these cards about 3C each. And then finally, we have all of the uniques. Now, understanding how to filter these, what's good, what to look for, it's a job for a better man. So what you need to do is have a lot of stash tab space. You have a lot of stash tab space, then you can pick up all these double corrupted items, throw them in there, set them at a price that you're comfortable selling for, and they will slowly but surely leave. If you see any gaps in these pages, these were full. Any gaps means that I have sold an item in here. And you can see there's quite a few gone, 100C each, quite a few gone. Now, there are some small things you can do, like weapons, I feel are not going to be very sought after, even with good double corruptions, unless they're those very high value uniques, because people want to have Crucible trees, and putting a Crucible tree on a corrupted unique weapon is incredibly annoying. You don't really have to have a thorough understanding of what people want, because it's almost impossible to know what people are going to want from this. So just pick up anything that's double corrupted, maybe leave some weapons behind, and throw them into this tab. You can also look at the items that only drop with 1 corruption, because they can still have some good stuff. If you get some items with socketed reservation, if on helmets, you get some +1 frenzy or like curse Ellie weakness on like Sedemas or something. It's worth checking. That is where your knowledge is going to come a bit more into play if you don't have unlimited stash space, which I'm assuming most of you don't. I certainly don't. Next is jewels. Jewels drop like candy. You're going to drop a lot of corrupted blood jewels. Once again, if you see any gaps in this page, that means something has sold. So 1, 2, 3, 4 things have sold on this page. We've had sales on this page. So we've ended up selling a fairly decent amount of things, but you drop a lot of corrupted blood jewels. You drop a lot of 2% mana reservation jewels. I've also sold jewels that have neither of those things. But it's just impossible to know what people are looking for and just how random these items you're dropping are going to be. So you would dump these, and over time they will sell. I'm sure I'm going to still be selling these a week from now. So that's why you're seeing so many Chaos Orbs and Divine Orbs here. You do drop a fairly decent amount of currency just doing this. I think I dropped a few Exalts in the maps. Obviously, we dropped a pretty nice Brisk Wrap. This has +4. I dropped a Calm's Heart with a damage implicit. I dropped an Ellie Weakness pair of Vaal Caress. Any decent items will be shown on the spreadsheet. What I would say is do not lower your tabs to this to start with. I'd start at a few divines, put like a 1 divine tab, a 2 divine tab, a 3 divine tab, something like that, and then slowly lower it. That's what I've done. I'm pretty impatient. You could wait a bit longer because most of the time, if someone wants to buy one of these items, it's because it's the only one that exists. So you can charge whatever you want. Personally, I'm pretty impatient, so I put it down to 150 chaos. You could realistically have this at like 2 divines, and I'm sure the things that did sell probably would still sell because they're so unique. The final thing we absolutely have to mention in regards to loot is maps. Holy moly, you drop a lot of maps. These are just the maps, the good maps. I wanted to drop cemeteries and crimsons and city squares, but if there's any map you want a large amount of, these are going to drop corrupted. In a lot of cases, you do get a fair few uncorrupted, but a lot of them are going to drop corrupted, like with quality. So you can have pre-rolled maps ready for you doing this. So it's kind of hard to value these because you're not going to sell corrupted maps, but they do mean that you're not going to have to roll maps yourself, and you're going to have a good supply of maps to run for a future strategy. So make sure you get your favorites sorted out before you do this. So that's where all the loot comes from. But how does this look on our trusty spreadsheet? Let's go take a look. So the first thing you'll see is the investment. How much did we spend on these maps? The answer being 1,400 Chaos Orbs. Pretty cheap. For 100 maps, 14 chaos per map, a total investment of 6.36 divines, which honestly is pretty low in the grand scheme of things. You don't have to spend much on this. Obviously, if you had to add in the reflect sextant, if you can't run reflect, it's probably going to set you back another C per map, so an extra 100 C, but that's not going to break the piggy bank. But the returns are where it gets exciting. Of course, we got 38.64 divines returned from the excellence tabs. As you can see down here, we have the 2 items that I managed to sell, the Calm's Heart and the Vaal Caress. I didn't include every single like random jewel that I sold. You'll just have to take my word for it that that's what's included in this tab. 38.64 was the value of the excellence tab at the time of recording. As I say, I'm sure things will sell over the next few days and this number would go up, but I'm going to leave it at this for now. It was kind of a difficult strat to do because this is dump all these items and then over the course of a week you make more and more and more and more and more. But for the sake of getting the video, out, I didn't want to wait a week to see what I'd sold. So I did wait a day. And this is what came out of it, which meant for a total return of 43.14 divines, or 36.78 divines profit over the course of what was 7 hours and 40 minutes. But this ended up resulting in almost a 5 divine per hour strategy, 4.9, a good return on investment of about 577%, and a profit per map of 0.37 divines. So, a very, very fun strategy. Something that if you have a lot of stash tab space, and you play the game a lot, you're going to be online, you're going to be able to do those trades from those dump tabs, this is something I would do because the sky is the limit. I don't feel like I got particularly lucky. There are very, very, very many things you can drop during the strategy that are going to send this number sky high. This is kind of a baseline, I imagine. I don't think I got particularly lucky. I'd recommend going out there and trying this while Vaal Temples are 10C because they are worth far more than 10C, in my opinion. This was a fun strat and one that I would definitely recommend doing. I hope you enjoyed the series. I tried to keep it kind of mid-range investment. I didn't want to go into Crimson Temples and do some apothecary farming because we've all seen it. It's expensive, and I wanted to keep these things more doable for everyone. So I hope the series was a success in that regard. I'm sorry it wasn't incredibly varied. The meta right now in the end game, at least in my opinion, is quite stale, but I tried to get out 7 strategies that I thought were a lot of fun that people could enjoy, and I hope I succeeded in that. Thank you for spending your time with me. Thank you for watching the series. There will be more videos on farms coming, but they won't be part of this series. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.